Hey, you guys, it's Krystal Ketcham checking in with Hip Hop Weekly, and today I'm sitting down with a powerhouse in hip hop, Big U. Big U, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I mean, feeling good,
I see.
excited.
I saw you driving around sunny California. Making me kind of jealous.
Yeah. Where are you? What
I'm
city
in
you in?
Atlanta.
Oh yeah, we got way better weather right now. You
I'm
see, it don't rain in sunny California.
Whatever. Well, before we touch base on the documentary Hip Hop Uncovered, I want to talk a little bit about your background. So, can you tell us what was your introduction into the music industry?
My actual introduction to music industry came through Laquan. Papa LQ, they call him Kenny Kingpin now. He had a gold selling album in 88, 89.
Mm-hmm.
1988, 1989. And he asked me to manage him. At that time, I might have been about 19, 20, and he might have been about 15, 16. And that was my first time really in music. And I started going with him, learning the ropes, 89. Then about 90, I met Corrupt. And I started managing. I was signing Corrupt. And then after that, I left. I was gone for 13 years. But during that time while I was gone, Corrupt, me, Laquan, I was doing deal with Jay Prince, Rap a Lot. I was doing deals. I was still doing deals in music. And I had ran into Harry O around the time I was doing timing. He would just give me different kind of books and on music, and I always stayed in music. And Corrupt kept my name in music. Corrupt had a really big song. It came out about 92, 90, about 93, 94, We Get Freaky. At the end of the song, it says, "And Big U, we love you too." So that's how I really got started in music.
That time where Corrupt releases that song, you were still in prison during that time?
Yeah, I was in prison. I did 13 years straight.
Wow. So it's no secret, before you got into music, your background was a little different. You came out from the streets of LA, you were a Crip. What was that pivotal moment in your life where you was like, I have to leave this behind in order for me to do better?
I read Malcolm X's autobiography. I was on the street still, and I cut my hair off. And I was at that time I was a wobble between the streets and doing something better just for Black people as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know how to get out, and I didn't know how to survive without hustling. But I knew I didn't want to keep. I was trying to. So I was going to school, taking construction classes. But the street still was the only way I knew how to live. Even when I stopped hustling, my bills didn't stop. I had amassed maybe $30,000, $40,000 in bills a month just living that lifestyle. So now when you stop and you say you want to go and do something different, it's hard. So my little brothers was in private school. I was paying both my little brothers to go to private school. I just had my first kid, was about to have another one. I had 2 or 3 apartments and just bought my first house. So I had all of these bills, and I had the idea to just out. And I read Malcolm X out of Bible, so it was like, "You damn if you do, and you damn if you don't." So I was still stuck, not because I wanted to, but because financially I really was like, damn.
Wow, that I can't imagine that. Moving more into the music industry, your background wasn't in music. So what was your biggest challenge in the music industry?
You talking about after I came home
Yeah.
or before I left? After being Big U, my biggest challenge is my reputation. It's still to this day. Like fighting against people, fighting against the reputation of being a bully, being somebody, the blue shirt night, the gangness, and being being affiliated with associates that name is so big that whenever something happens in the city, they all automatically equate you to that. So it's like that was my biggest fight, and even to this day, and I'm
Really?
blessed to have FX to give me a chance to tell this story like only I could tell, and then for Disney to come on board, it's a really big thing for us. But
Do
my
you feel
biggest
like
challenge was mainly reputation.
do you feel like your reputation kind of still hinders you today?
Definitely,
Wow.
definitely. I mean, I've been working gallantly to change it, but You know, my name get places before I do, and now I mean I'm able to make it work for me, like this documentary being one of the biggest one done, and I think being able to tell my story so people can get more. I've been a philanthropist since helping kids for the 17 years I've been home. I started developing options before I came home. I pray religiously to God. I give thanks to God in whatever name, and I try to just be an example. But that's still, you know how you can remember, no matter what your mother and father did for you, you can always remember the one time they whooped you when they was wrong. You know what I mean? They whooped you and they was right. They disciplined you. It was right, but you can remember that one time that they was wrong, and that's like life. Like they just always, oh, he this.
Well, I know that that's very much true. People always remember that one time where you did something that was pretty bad. But one thing I heard you say when you were talking to Nick Cannon is like the music industry is nothing but like smoke and mirrors. So what was that one rule or motto that you kept with you working in this industry that, help you stay who you are today?
Well, I mean, I feel like the people in this documentary are the same. And when we chose the people in this documentary, we chose them because they lived a different life. Like I can't say stuff,
Hmm.
but an artist can say. And the person who has the mic is always going to be the one that people gonna listen to. They're never gonna listen to my story. My story is not gallant. I don't have it. I mean, my story is gallant now because I'm telling it. But prior to that, nobody knows about the sleepless nights, the phone calls, the connection, the trust that people have to give me to trust somebody else. So I'm always going to be the bad guy. And anybody who sits in the position that I am, you're going to be the bad guy. We're always the ones accused of stealing money when people spend more money. We make 10% to 20% off of what another person makes of 80%. So I have to live off 20% profit of an artist, right? But that artist gets 80%. So I have to get 7 different artists going at one time to even make what
Yeah.
another artist will make regularly. And I think that's what people don't get and don't understand that. You know what I mean? I have to have good relationships. And I don't think you asked the question, but I'm gonna give you the answer. What our job is to do is to have relationships to help kids get to where they want to be. You know what I mean? I got nieces who come to my mom. So I might know somebody in my Rolodex who has a modeling agency or who has dealt with who may deal with certain people. And then if I give them a call and tell them this is my niece, treat her right, then that's the plug.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And if I have an artist and he wants to do a song with T.I., right, or somebody else, they charge 200,000 at the time. But I can get the song done for virtually free if they don't have a budget. But then that gets lost, you know what I mean? And people realizing that. And so that's pretty much a quagmire that you will see that happens with all the people in this documentary.
One thing you mentioned earlier is trust. In order for you to be really successful at what you do, an artist has to trust you. And one of the artists that really trust you was,
No, no, artists don't have to trust you. No, it's the other way around. It's the people
oh,
who will give them the break they need. Because once you sign a contract, the contract is the contract. Then we're on the same side. Now you have to do the only thing that the artist has to do is pick the right person with the right connections to get them to the next level. And then the artist has to do what they're supposed to do in the time frame that they're supposed to do it to be successful.
wow.
I mean, I'm throwing away the trust factor because the trust is not on me. Once you make it, it's gonna be everybody else whispering in that artist's ear. I need the artist. I need to trust on my side. Only in my cases and rare cases you see managers leave artists. It's mostly artists who become successful and they go to the next level. Look at Megan. Megan started with who she started with, but then she eventually went to Rock Nation. And everybody wants to level up, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to sort of try for artists to trust me, it's for me to trust them because they the one gonna continue to seek the bag. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm. Well, speaking of one artist you trusted, that artist was Nipsey Hussle. God rest his soul. But what was it? What was that moment that you knew that Nipsey Hussle had it?
Shit, when I met him.
Really?
When I met him. When I met him, I I liked his look. And then when we first started talking, I was like, okay. And then when I heard his vision, I set him down because I went through several artists before I got to him. And he was stunning. He was he knew what he wanted to do. And he was dedicated to it. He was dedicated to it. He wasn't placating. He wasn't, I'm gonna do this, and if this don't work, I'm gonna do this. It wasn't no it wasn't no second thing I'm gonna do. I ain't finna become no doctor, no lawyer, no judge. I'm finna do this.
And that man was persistent, definitely that.
Oh, persistent, good looking, strong, smart, debonair. I mean, he was what I thought would become Nipsey. You know, they told us in the beginning that he had to change his name because it's already a Nipsey Hussle. They told us they didn't like the way he looked. He looked like they were saying he looked like Snoop already. He's a Crip. Then they was telling us we got to stop saying Rolling 60. We got to say the city. I mean, we heard everything. We heard it all.
You played a really big role in his career. Was there ever a time in Nipsey Hussle's career that you had to help him make a decision that if he didn't make that decision, it would have changed like the whole trajectory of his career?
Well, the biggest decision we had a debate on was him wearing that Crenshaw shirt.
What?
Nipsey didn't want to wear the Crenshaw shirt. Nipsey never went to Crenshaw, and his store is not even on Crenshaw. His store is on Slauson on Victoria. He didn't even have a store yet. So I'm a Crenshaw guy. I'm Crenshaw all the way. Went to Crenshaw. My whole family went to Crenshaw. We pushed to Crenshaw. Nipsey got Slauson Boys tatted on his back. And that's the label he pushed. And he didn't want people to think that he was using Crenshaw to get on. So we had a white guy who had made the Crenshaw shirts, and he was pushing the Crenshaw brand out of New York. We did a deal with him, and he paid us $10,000 to wear for Nipsey to wear the Crenshaw shirt, the sweater in Hustle in the House, the video. First time he wore it. And Nip was like, no, man, I gotta wear my own shit. Nipsey left the video shoot and went got the shirt. If you see him with the shirt on, it's the Albany in with the tank. He really went and got that shirt made because he was not gonna not wear his logo in that video. And that Crenshaw shirt went viral. Because as a manager, I have to think of ways to make him connect or artists connect to the community. You need to connect to your community. So I'm like, look, nephew, we need to do this because this is gonna get you connected to the community. And once that came out, it was over. It went viral. Everybody in the Crenshaw community wanted the shirts. We started selling them. We started making them. I already had the print. I had a print machine at that time. So we was making our own material.
That was a good decision.
The biggest decision I ever made, and it was really successful.
It was. It really is a part of his brand till this day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of like
most people are shocked to know that he never went to Crenshaw. He never went to Crenshaw. He ain't even been up there. He didn't even give a damn about. I mean, he loved the Shaw. He loved the community, but he was his record label was Slauson Boys. That was his brand.
Mm-hmm. So you basically know the formula for breaking an artist. Now that we're in the midst of a pandemic, things have changed a lot. So do you think that formula for breaking an artist has changed? Like, what is your advice?
No.
Really?
You have to hit your community behind you. I tell artists all the time, and that's what labels are looking for. You have to have the people in your community behind you because that's where it starts at. Because when somebody asks about that artist, they're gonna go back in that community. Man, what's up with your man such and such? We ever heard a dude from your city? And that's how it starts. You know what I mean? Because if you're not authentic in your city, it's kind of hard for you to get on. And then now, with the way music is right now, it's about buffoonery. So you need to have how much buffoonery is a person willing to do to get seen?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, shit. I mean, I don't want to say names, but you see these people out here.
You want to feel
Come on, you see these kids come out here and do the craziest shit to get likes and get views.
So
they do all kind of stuff. You know, I mean, look, I love my nephew to death, little the baby, right?
mm-hmm.
The baby had a diaper on the cross.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
He walked around with a diaper on for how long? See, people forget those things. And then once he got the pub, he did a couple more things. Then what's his name was on the cross. You know, it's like you're doing shit to shock people. It ain't really like, it's no way really for the music to get on.
Unless they do something crazy. So you feel like an artist to truly be successful in their industry, they have to do something crazy or something of shock value.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's what's happening for them to get on right now. That's the mentality to get on. Like, what can I do to shock the world? I'm not saying that. I'm saying that is, I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, I think if you get your community and you build the swell of your community and you put your city behind you, and you don't have to do the performing. You just got to do the work. You got to be in all the clubs. You got to build a relationship with all the DJs. You got to be at the radio station. You got to have that work ethic. You know what I mean? It's no more giving out CDs. So now you got to give out the digital cards. You got to be in people's face. Can you repost my video? You got to be walking the malls. You got to walk the street. You got to have a team. Those are the things that you need to do. Like, and then you really got to have a budget now for your video to get 5 views. If you're not getting 5 to 10 million views on the video, nobody's not even going to look at it. It's almost like.
It's true. It's true. Now, just transferring to the FX series that comes out tomorrow, Hip Hop Uncovered. Why was it so important for you to take part in this documentary series?
Oh, because I thought it was important that I tell my own story. I thought it was time, and at the place I was at, I'm tired of people telling my story for me, and I didn't want to leave this planet and somebody continue to vilify me. And I felt it was important that I tell my story and that we create a series where people who are behind the scenes can have a voice. And where you hear so much, do you know the first $1 million Game ever got? I gave it to him. You wouldn't know that. I did Game's shoe deal, the Hurricane shoe deal. I did that. The first money I ever got in this industry, I got it together with Game.
Wow.
Yes. I was the one that did that deal. But I managed Ving Rhames, the actor, from Baby Boy.
Wow.
I managed him.
What year was that? I managed
Ving. When I stopped managing Nipsey, I started managing Ving. I was making over $160,000 just managing Ving, doing movies a year. That's when I never left the industry. I just started managing him. I've done deals with Jamie Foxx. I've done deals with multiple artists. I started booking artists I started mainly doing shows throughout LA. So I had started I was making down to $200,000-300,000 a year up until the COVID, just doing shows.
Wow.
In music. I didn't need an artist. I was making more money with shows instead of following one artist.
Who else have you worked with that we would be shocked to know about?
Shoot, I work with Game. I work with Ludacris. I got a platinum. I got an offer with Lupe Fiasco. We did Lupe Fiasco's whole project. 1,500. I signed 1,500 first contract, first money 1,500 ever got, 1,500 nothing. They the biggest producers in all of California. Shoot.
Your hands.
I've done deals with, yeah, I did 2 Chainz clothing deal with Guess when he signed with Guess. I don't know if that's True Religion. I'm sorry. I did the True Religion deal. I was working with True Religion for years. I mean, I've done so much stuff. You know, like I said, I've done 9 movies, produced 9 movies. So I make a lot of money around hip hop and not just dealing with just artists. So that led me to do this project right here. That's where Hip Hop Uncovered comes from, because I did Jam Master Jay documentary, Two
Wow.
Turntables and a Microphone. We look on there. I got executive producer credit on that.
Wow. So hearing you talk about all this makes me really excited for the documentary because I want to hear more that, we don't have time to go over it now, but there is a lot of misconceptions about you when it comes to the industry. So after we watch this docuseries, what do you want us to take away? What do you hope people take away about you?
Well, really, just I'm a hard worker, man. I'm dedicated, and nobody, out of all the misconceptions that people ever had on me, I've never been accused of taking no money. Can't nobody complain about me ever taking no money. And all the problems I've had, it's never been nothing dealing with money.
That's good.
So you gotta pay attention to that. If they say I am anything, but I've never taken nobody money, and I've never been accused of robbing nobody. Talk about the conflict that me and Nip had in the documentary, and then how we got back together, and how we were mad at each other for a day. It didn't even last a day. But if they reported like it was years and we wasn't talking. We talked that night. You know what I mean? And I've always helped him. He helped me. Of course, when somebody's mad at each other, you talk bad about it, you're gonna be bitter. He was bitter with me. I was bitter with him. And, you know what I'm saying? That was it. And then he was. You could never be mad at nobody who you don't owe money. You know what I'm saying? I don't owe nobody money. I didn't collect the money. The money went to them and they gave it to me. That's how the contract works. You know what I mean? So even with that, dealing with different artists is always a proving stage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when you look at Deb's, you look at my story, you look at Trick's story, you look at Haitian Jack's story, you're gonna get stories of hip hop. You're gonna get different stories like the West Coast, how the crack affected the West Coast, and then the only way we could get in the music business was to be entrepreneurs. And some of us may have been entrepreneurs in the fact how we got in. And it talks about how the gangs influence hip hop and how that culture changed. So in the 6 parts, you're gonna get a lot. And I want people to walk away with and seeing there's story behind every human being.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Definitely. Now, in 6 parts, I don't feel like that's enough to give us your whole story. So can we expect like a tell-all book in the future? Are you working on something like that?
I never do a tell-all book, but I am working on some other projects. We're looking at, because that's just not our culture. Like, that's the people in this book, when this doc can't tell it all.
Mm.
Like, I wouldn't tell it all. I wouldn't tell all the negative stuff about none of my artists. That ain't my job. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna get no negative connotation from none of my artists or on nobody. I don't do that one.
That's respectable. That's definitely respectable.
Yeah. So if anything, I'll tell a story on things that happened, and then as long as we mended our fences at the end, I would never tell just lingering on. You know what I mean? So, but I feel like I want to be positive. I want to do things that's gonna help kids, help people be successful. I like the artists today. I like the artists today. I think a lot of our peers don't really like the artists. I like the artists. I like what these youngsters are doing. I encourage them to do more, but I encourage them to stay more on the focus on the business and to move away from a little bit of buffoonery. But I mean, if it's got to get on, I love these artists. I'd be excited to meet some of these artists and encouraging them. I don't want to do no business. I don't no contract, but I'm excited to meet artists. That's the reason why I still do.
Some of the artists you're excited about.
I love Lil Baby, Gunna. Shit, man. I got to meet Pop Smoke. OSBS, my group, Criticality. They got some real heat coming. Shoot. Who else out there did I see doing it? Shit, we got Nietzsche coming.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm really looking for female artists. That's what I think. I want to work with a female artist that's gonna keep her clothes on and that's gonna kind of I wanna put my behind a female artist. Just what me and Dad was talking about. A female artist that can represent the other side of our females. Not knocking Nikki and Megan, but I think I want somebody who my daughter can latch on to. My daughter's 14, and I want to help somebody that, you know, gonna keep it
Queen
close.
Latifah, Lauryn Hill.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? We don't have that. I would like to be instrumental in helping to bring that to the table.
So what have you done to like kind of cultivate that artist? Have you been on YouTube? Like, are you?
No, I've been honest with you. I've been working on this doc. This been a lot of work. We've been working on this doc.
You are definitely working. We are excited to see this documentary that airs on FX tomorrow, Hip Hop Uncovered. It's a 6-part series. So you guys make sure you tune in. And thank you, Big U, for sitting down with us.